Hope everyone is doing well. Today, our topic is the Shadow Book. That's the witch's book. That's our go to book. That's where we put the spells that we've done and worked. That's the book that we actually write poems in that appeal to us, that actually touch us in a particular way. It's your witch's book. Okay. It's usually a book that is, kept closed. Not necessarily do you show it to anyone else because it's a private book. It's your book. Um, and it has all of your creative artwork in there if you are a creative artist. I'm not that great. So I can dabble here and there, but that's about it. Pictures that you've taken and that means something to you. Nature, for example. Um, it's kind of like your diary, okay? Your witch's diary, okay? Where you put things that are meaningful to you, um, things that you tried and felt that they were working the way you had expected them to work. I have this fly here that's driving me crazy. He likes his room too, I guess. But I'm going to talk about the fact that you don't really need an elaborate shadow book, okay? Your shadow book, some call it a grimoire, you know, but a shadow book can be very simple. It could be a binder, okay, like this, okay? And you keep it in a place kind of obscure from everything else. Or it could be something like this. All right. All right. This is brand new because I almost finished my other book. And this one, okay, was given to me. Um, my daughter gave me this one. Okay. And this is how it looks. All right. So, and then it has these little claps here. You open up and all these pages in here, what I was saying. So that's kind of what I was talking about, that you can design your shadow book whichever way you want, okay? Um, your shadow book is something that, like I say, can be very simple. You can take a simple binder and decorate it, and you wouldn't even know that it's a simple binder because you became very creative and decorated it the way you wanted to. But it's your Bible. It's your go to when you think of doing a spell, but you can't exactly remember how it worked. But I wrote it down, so now I can go back there and retrieve it. That kind of thing. Um, Many witches have more than one, shadow book. Um, and I have, oh my goodness, so many shadow books that sometimes I forget where I'm going to look for a particular spell that I did. And that was a long time ago. I got to get better at organizing that. But I'll sit down and I'll just go through the book and see. I put my dreams in there too, you know, uh, like before I go to bed at night, if I want to remember a dream, because we all dream, but sometimes we don't remember them. And your dreams happen within the first 3 hours of your sleep, REM sleep. Okay, so you might want to say, for example, to the powers that be, I would love to remember my dreams tonight so that I can, when I awake, write them down. So keep a pad and pen by your nightstand and just jot down. Sometimes it's just bits and pieces of, things that you remember. It's okay. All right. Um, what happens to me is I won't, really concentrate on it too much. If it doesn't come easily, I let it go. I let it go. And then the next night, I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I'll sit up in bed and go, oh, that's what it meant. you know. So again, I'll write it down, so I can put that in my shadow book. And or you might want to try tarot card. Draw one, two tarot cards. Say the first card would be, what was the message in my dream? And the second card would be for, what did it mean? And whatever you get out of that, write that down. And it's really, sometimes these things don't come to you 1, 2, 3, but then they all of a sudden do out of the blue, because your mind is the computer. It's the unconscious, but it's also the hard drive. Okay, so it stores things. All right. So then you put that in your shadow book. Okay. A lot of people are very creative making a shadow book. They do it themselves. And I can tell you that in this book in particular, okay, all it is paper, that parchment paper that, you can do by, and it's really funny, you take plain white paper and you put it in a dish with liquid coffee. Okay. You soak it, and then you take it out and you let it dry. And it has this look. Okay. And once it's dry, you accumulate layers. Okay. And you tie a string in the middle. All right. And what you can do is actually sew a string in the middle to keep them together. And then you can take leather, or you can take cardboard, okay, from maybe an old book that isn't useful for you anymore. Take the cover of it and glue it in or sew it in. And there's your shadow book, And there are sites on YouTube where you can see how elaborate people can make a shadow book. It takes a lot of work if you want to do it yourself with very intricate designs. And that's not for everybody, but it is beautiful to watch it being made. But like I said, this is your own Bible, your own way of doing things. In my shadow book, I also have candle magic. Okay, what candles I use to in my spells. Okay, depending on what kind of spell I'm doing. And what does it mean? What do the colors mean? And we'll make a video on that, okay, on candles and spells and what they're used for. I bet you didn't even know that when you put candles on a birthday cake and you make a wish and you don't tell anyone what that wish is, that's magic. You're doing magic. I guess you didn't know that, right? Well, there you go. So we do things sometimes not even knowing where it comes from. But yeah, you blow out the candles, make a wish. Don't tell anybody about it. There's an old saying, keep it to yourself until it comes through. Because if you share it with someone else, their energy might not, bring it to fruition. So yeah, keep it a secret until it comes through. And then after, you could say, yeah, I did this and this is what happened and it came through for me. And that's kind of like your shadow book, let's say you try to spell and it wasn't exactly working out the way you thought. Well, I wouldn't put that in my shadow book. I would only put the ones that worked. Okay, so I can go back and retrieve. Now, the ones that didn't work, maybe what you want to do is go back and review and see if you can replace it with some different herbs, or add a candle that was dipped in anointing oil and certain herbs to bring about, your spell that you want. And then, you know, let your candle burn. And it depends. There's all kind of candles, and that's another topic, but we'll go into that in another video. And you can, if you're making a wish and you want to put it on top of, let's say, a bottle with a tin, okay, lid, to burn. Usually I would not do more than this, type, because it's going to take a couple of hours to burn out. And you never want to leave a candle burning unattended, okay? Um, this is my witchy room, and my cat is in my room, my Misty. And I will tell you that she's very quiet, but she can be mischievous, and so I don't leave a candle burning because it might, grab her attention, and she'll jump and probably knock it down and set the place on fire. So, yeah, leaving a room with candles on, even if you don't have a cat, you never know. The glass can break, and then whatever you have sitting next to it can catch fire. So don't do that. My husband's a retired fireman, so he gets very nervous when I have candles lit. So he makes sure, don't leave the room with them lit. Um, so your Book of Shadow really can be very affordable. Like I said, a simple binder that you can decorate yourself. Could be a little bit more elaborate. Okay. It all depends on what you can afford. Okay. And I always say, don't go out and buy all this stuff that glitters in the craft, because let me tell you, it becomes very expensive. Okay. Do what's right for you. Do what you can afford. It doesn't make you less of a witch, okay, if you do it in a spiral binder, okay? Because again, you're going to put this away when nobody's going to see it, okay? It's yours. It's your private diary, okay? So, and it's special. It has a lot of meaning to you, not necessarily to anyone else, but to you, okay? Um, I may write things in my shadow book that I read in another book that really touched me and gave me a lot of thought and a different perspective on the way that I was maybe seeing certain things. And so I'll write it in my shadow book. I'll take flowers that I found that are beautiful, and when they dry, I put them in my shadow book, okay, and I'll write down where I found the flowers and what it meant to me when I picked it, from the grass, and um, you know, um, anything that's special to you goes in your shadow book, really, Um, and joyful experiences that you had maybe with other, witches. If you got together with other witches for a Sabbath or, something like that, you might want to put the date that, you met and what you did and how the exchange went, what you learned from it, what you offered as far as your teaching. All that goes in your book, photos. You've got together, you took photos, and you put it in your book and wrote down the date and the year and, and what fun you had meeting together. Or if you went on the website and you actually tuned into one of the witches on the website, like Lady Gravedancer or Mickey Mueller or Mama Squirrel or I forgot the name, the Witch of London, Wonderlust. She's very good too. I mean, there's so many witches on there, and they share their knowledge, and that's what it's all about. It's sharing, It's sharing. And so you can put those things in your book, okay, that impressed you, that you thought were really special. Um, and and you can impart this with other people. Now, I talk about, you talking with other witches, but, even if you're not a witch, if you're curious about the craft, what goes on in the craft, okay, I think, please join, please come on, please ask questions, I think it's important that questions are asked, you know. For example, what is a shadow book? Which I just said, it's your witch's personal diary. Okay, some call it a grimoire. Okay, but the thing is, not everybody understands or knows about it. They may have heard tidbits here and there. So you can tune in and find out what it's all about. If it, resonates with you, then wonderful. You know, you can ask questions. Um, I'm always open to questions. So, yeah, anytime. All right. What I'd like to do is also to say if you are an artist, okay, and you can decorate your shadow book and make it so beautiful. Okay. I've seen shadow books that, oh, touched me, but I'm not gifted in that way. But if you are, well, that's wonderful. You know, um, yeah, just do what you can, put what's meaningful to you, what resonates, and I work on my shadow book. I would say more in the winter months, leading up to the winter months. Like I would even say the end of summer, going into fall. I start really paying attention to the seasonal changes, and we'll talk about that. Okay, the wheel of the year. Okay, that's a topic that I want to address too. It's so special to me, really. Um, I live in New Jersey. I think I told you that. And so I'm in the southern part of New Jersey. I used to live in the northern part of New Jersey. And there are a lot more witches up there and a lot more events that take place, psychic fairs and so forth that I was involved in. Down here, not so much. It's very hard to find something, you know. So I hope this was interesting to you, and we will talk more on different topics. And I bid you a wonderful day. Stay safe. Happy Memorial Day weekend, and God bless. Brightest blessings. Bye bye.